What is your position as delivery drivers or potential delivery drivers on picking up multiple orders on platforms like Deliveroo, Uber Eats, and Just Eat? Now, there's always exceptions to every rule, but my opinion is that 90% of the time it's not worth it. And I explain to you why. Now, to start hitting somewhere near minimum wage, I need to be making at least £15 an hour before I think about my expenses. So what's £15 an hour when you think of it in a minutes term? Well, if you divide £15 an hour by 60, you get 25p. Now, quite often I see a second order being attempted to be added on by these platforms for as little as 80p or a pound. Let's round it up to a pound to make it easier. Now, the way I think about double orders is if I'm only getting an extra pound for that extra order, that equates to 4 minutes of my time. Now I'm thinking to myself, is this extra order likely to take another 4 minutes? So you're thinking about, is the restaurant going to spend an extra 4 minutes preparing it and giving it out to me, bagging it up, giving it out to me? Is the second customer likely to be more than 4 minutes away? Is a second customer likely to be somebody maybe it's not going to come straight to the door? And I'm especially thinking about this in busy periods where I know I'm going to get orders back to back to back anyway. That's my personal opinion of it. Now, obviously, there are exceptions to every rule. And quite often, if the platform's surging, I'm seeing orders come through for quite a lot more, sometimes for like an extra fiver. And in that instance, depending on what it's asking me to do, I will generally accept. But sometimes, obviously, it is asking me to go to another restaurant across the town and then pick up and drop off to somebody else further across from the town. So I'm going to quickly do some additions on this calculator and I'll let you know what is 5 minutes actually buying me. Well, I don't need to do that actually, do I? 20 minutes. So I'll think of it like, okay, if it's adding a second order and it's asking me to pick up from a second restaurant and it's asking me to drop to another part of town, is £5 even worth it? Because, say for example, there's a KFC near me that's absolutely rubbish. The minimum you're going to wait at the KFC alone is 15 minutes. I don't ever go there. But this is what I'm talking about when it comes to doing doubles and whether it's actually worth it. In the daytime, I start thinking maybe it is worth it, but then the order's coming through for like an extra pound, extra £1.50. And as I said, they're only accounting for you to get paid for an extra 5 minutes, which in my view, generally an extra order is always going to take more. Well, I would say allow at least 10 minutes if it's like just down the road, because obviously you're allowing for, as I said, the pickup, the drop off, and the extra time traveled. So that's my opinion on double orders. Every time I get one, I always think, well, how much time are they adding on? If they're adding on 2 minutes, obviously, if they're adding on, £2, then obviously I'm thinking, well, you're adding on like still under 10 minutes, and generally it's not really worth it. So for me, I think to start thinking about it being worth it, they need to be adding on at least £3. And the same goes where if they offer you a double and you arrive and there's a wait at the restaurant, I find, unless it's like, one of the Uber £14 ones where you're going to lose £7 if you ditch one of them. Quite often I find, like if I'm picking up a double and it's paying £10, if I drop one of the double, especially if they're close together, I'm losing like a pound. And sometimes if you wait for that second order, you could be waiting another 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. So that's the way I look at double orders. How do you guys look at double orders? Are you happy to just do them? You just think it's extra money, or do you look at it in the same way as I do? Because I'm just, especially if I'm going to a restaurant where they look like they're stressed or they've had enough, that's the way I'm looking at it. Like, am I likely to get this in a timely manner? Let me know in the comments what you guys reckon.